Hey everyone, it's Karissa Dunham. I'm here on Shining Light on Minnesota. Have an awesome guest with us here today, Matt Kading. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, thank you very much.
Matt is with 3M, and we're going to talk everything today, so I'm very excited. Matt, let's start and talk a little bit about the window film world. How'd you get into it, and where are you at today?
That sounds great. Yeah, so I guess my history with 3M, I've been there 19 years.
Wow.
And it expands a little bit broader than just, window films and even graphic films. But I started in the regulatory business at 3M, got my start as a contractor for a year, and then got hired on by 3M in that world in regulatory.
Yep.
For me, as a little bit of an extrovert, it was a challenge because I was kind of confined within the walls. And then I had a chance to get into our application engineering,
Yep.
which was troubleshooting with customers. And I kind of found my niche with that. So I did that for about 7 years and then moved into the sales world because it was a natural progression, closer with customers, solving problems, looking at opportunities and really kind of controlling my own destiny.
Yeah.
So got into sales for about 7 years and then sales training for a year and then came back as our regional sales manager here in the Midwest.
You've got some pretty big shoes to fill. You've gone from where you're at to now filling in Joe Gonger's position.
Right.
Joe is a huge name and a huge position to fill. Like he's awesome. He's retired now, but I mean having those shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a huge challenge, but at the same time, Joe and I worked together. Joe was the one that kind of brought me from the lab into sales.
Yeah.
And the mentality was, I can take your personality, I can take your knowledge and help you become a better salesperson.
Absolutely.
And so Joe was always that mentor to me. And I think, he still is. I call him every now and again and not to bring him out of retirement, to just, ask some questions,
Right.
see what he thinks about something that maybe I think of. And he's just been a great resource and a great person. So appreciate all he did to prep me for what I have. But also just the person he still continues to be.
Absolutely.
So,
and he'll always be that person. I mean, we see him all the time. We talk
Right.
to him and he's just that person. I mean, I'll never forget sitting in the booth and having him say, he's going to be my replacement, sitting back there last year and just prepping for that. But I mean, he's an amazing person. I mean, back in the day, having him be there, Dan Borowski, who's now in a different territory rep, and having you be there and everybody else, and 3M shifts and changes and it grows, and it's amazing to see all the changes.
Yeah, and for us, the advantage of a big company like 3M is everyone can kind of have a specialty.
Absolutely.
And that's our, I guess, strategy with Sun Control is we have a number of different people that service you guys in different ways.
Yes.
Whether it's, flat glass, whether it's automotive, PPF, graphics, where it's kind of more my specialty.
Yep.
You guys play in so many different areas. So it's a blessing and a curse that, there are a number of specialists, but there's not just one point person. So, I think that's where Joe really did a great job to say, hey, I'll field some questions for you as a customer right in our backyard. Help me understand what you need, and I'll push for you within the broader network.
For sure. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's talk some of the products so some of the customers and people listening know what some of the 3M products are, and they can kind of start to understand them a little bit. Let's start with PPF. So if people don't know what PPF is, they understand what it is. I know there's some new PPF products.
Right on.
So they can start to understand them a little bit.
Yeah, and I think on the PPF world, we're trying to have kind of a good, better, best strategy.
Absolutely.
Now best might mean something different to every customer.
Right.
So that's a great thing that we can start those conversations. But with us there is some advantages with going up in our kind of our portfolio. But starting with our base tier, our 100 series.
Yep.
So kind of newer, but our 100 series a little bit thinner at almost 7 mils.
PPF is paint protection film, if you didn't know.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, I think we throw around a lot of jargon at 3M and in the industry, but our paint protection films, really a urethane based film, there to help with rock chips and scratches and all of the little things that can happen on your car.
Right.
And really a major benefit when you invest in a purchase like that and want to protect that investment.
Absolutely.
So the paint protection films with us, starting at that 100 series, available in gloss, up to 60 inches.
Yep.
And really kind of that first tier, our lowest price product.
Yes.
And then moving to our 150 gloss, coming very, very soon.
Right.
We've kind of done some field testing and beta testing.
Yep.
So we always like doing that with our strong partners to say, hey, blow holes in this.
Hey, by the way,
install it,
Yep.
try it, beat it up, test it like you would.
And we love being the test dummy for those, just to see how they go and what's coming soon. Yes.
Yeah. So very valuable feedback for us. And that 150 series kind of in that middle tier. So kind of in that better category. And then, some other advantages with that, just a little bit longer lasting with us. So they may be a little bit of a different adhesive, different install experience with that. And then last, our 200 series, available in gloss and matte.
Which is exciting. A
Exciting,
lot of those people really like going from the typical gloss car to the matte car, matte black, all the other colors. Yes.
Yeah. So another advantage with that one, just a little bit thicker, hydrophobic coating on that. And then, offering a little bit longer warranty with that extra thickness, and really having up to 72 inches is another advantage.
That's a huge
with that.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So certain vehicles really will kind of have to stay in that because of the width requirements. But, with us having all of those in our portfolio coming very, very soon with that 150, now having kind of all different avenues for customers to pursue.
And in paint protection, there's also colored paint protection films too.
Right on.
Yes.
So it really, when you think about that whole opportunity to personalize your vehicle and protect it, I think historically customers used to use a number of our films to personalize, and then they would have to come back with a secondary application for that protection.
Right.
And so we saw a niche in the market to say, hey, there are other, colored paint protection films on the market. 3M likes to invest and really do a lot of field testing globally, locally. So we did that and really came up with a product that met both of those needs and met it with a dry install.
Correct.
So we took some time to really invest in that install piece because we have a number of installers that aren't on the paint protection film wet install world.
Right.
And they're used to a dry install.
Yep.
And so we took some of our Control Tech and Comply, some of the technology that helps you install with sliding and bubble-free installs, and we put that in a colored, personalized paint protection film.
Which is a really great product to have. I know we've used that on some of our own personal cars, and it's amazing.
It is.
People love going from different colors, especially in the paint protection world, to really protect their car and change the color.
Right on. And I think we did a great job, not me, but our team, of looking at those colors that are really trending in the industry.
Absolutely.
Like British Racing Green, some of those colors that are so unique and maybe a little bit out of that comfort zone. We talked a lot about comfort zone today, but, pushing outside that, like I know you do, and really finding those colors that are leading edge.
Absolutely.
And really investing in those 26 colors that we launched to say, hey, these are kind of like on that edge of trends.
Because nobody wants the typical, hey, they don't want to go just from white to black. I mean, if they do, they want to have that different color black. They don't want to just go from one color to a basic another color. They want to really, hey, I want the different color.
Yeah.
They want to change it.
Right on. And I think, with that series, it's a 10-year bumper to bumper product. It really kind of matches that paint protection world and brings some of that protection into the graphics color change world. And so now having all of those benefits and the removability, if you want to change it after a couple of years, take it off, try a new color.
Absolutely. So as far as paint protection, we've talked about that. Let's talk a little bit about the Dynoc world. And what is Dynoc? People always ask me, what is Dynoc and what are our architectural films?
Yeah. So, and Dynoc is kind of a fun one for me because it also blends, what we have, the technology of our color change graphics and printed graphics, some of the Comply air egress of easy install, but we put it into a kind of pre-printed, a number over 1,000 patterns.
Yes.
So whether it's wood grains or marble, like faux marble, or, solid colors, we still have solid colors in that series. So a number of films that really can help customers solve some of those architectural, almost like, wallpaper kind of solutions. So it's a little more rigid. But like I mentioned,
has texture to it.
Yeah, has a texture, especially the wood grains really feel like a natural wood.
For sure.
And look like a natural wood without the weight.
Right.
So when I think of applications for our Dynoc and architectural films, it's faux beams, it's, things that are, you want to lightweight something without the weight of an actual wood or, cement or marble or anything.
People have a desk that needs to be refinished or a door that needs to be finished, or elevators. We see a lot of elevators that need to be done.
Yeah.
Or I mean, just as simple as a front desk. Like you talk about those beams when we're going in places. There's a lot of different applications that people come to us and say, hey, let's just change the look.
Yeah.
Let's do a countertop. Let's do, the front office when we go into their hospitals, 100%. Schools. Yes, absolutely.
Well, and I think the major advantages for us is, there's less downtime.
Yes.
If you think of a school that, you have very short times that you have to refinish a school area.
Absolutely.
You don't want to have the mess. You don't want to throw something away. So there are sustainability benefits. There's also the downtime benefit, and hospitals, it's like you want that room to be available for the next patient.
Yep. Yeah.
So many situations like that, so many benefits of going in, doing a bunch of doors at night, and then the next day ready to go.
Hotels. That's a huge one. Yes. Get in and get out, get it done. And the cost of the Dynoc versus putting in a bunch of new doors or refinishing those. Right. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you can match the colors. People don't understand, hey, what do you have that's close? Let me bring out the options of Dynoc with the options that we have, and let's find something close.
Yeah. And I like what we did. We have another catalog that's like our top 190 patterns.
Yes.
So the book can be a little overwhelming.
It can
the
be.
solid book.
You want to make it simple, like cut it down. Yes.
Right. Yeah. We had over 1,000 patterns in there. And I think, bringing so many options to customers, it got to be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
So kind of refinishing that to say, hey, there are all those options if we want to get super specific, but here's the top 190 available through our master distributors, available in the US because Dynoc is made in Japan.
Correct.
So I think we did a great job with that recently. And I'm really kind of proud of that team's work to say, hey, these are great options and these are ready for you.
Yep.
Ready right now.
Well, there are some really unique finishes. I know we've done like some leather, staircases. We've done some, some gold fleck ones, a lot of carbon fiber, which people don't know that's available too. So it's really unique.
Yeah.
So we've talked those two. Let's go into the decorative window films, the Fasara book, so people understand what those are. I know a lot of times people always are used to hearing about dusted crystal.
Yeah.
But let's go a little bit more. Let's go gradient. Let's talk a little bit about that stuff.
Yeah. And I think, another area that is probably underutilized when you look at our broad portfolio, I think we stick with a lot of clear printed window films.
Yes.
And that's where people kind of tend to know 3M.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they say, well, I'm doing, a number of windows. I want the consistency. I want the same pattern over and over.
Right.
And, from the installer perspective, a lot of people install polyester films and they're used to that.
Right.
And so having a pre-printed polyester film in our Fasara series and having that available, ready to go in all of those, that's a major benefit that we are trying to make sure that people understand from 3M.
How important do you think is it for people when they say, hey, I want a 3M film, but I want it to be installed correctly?
Yeah. And, I think, installation training and certification is a big part of our success.
Yep.
3M, years ago, I remember Marcio. I don't know if you remember Marcio Oliveira.
Absolutely.
So Marcio kind of created our 3M certified and 3M preferred program because we had challenges.
Right.
So we would sell high quality films and, it's a premium.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, people wouldn't install it correctly, and then
bubbling,
here we
peeling,
are,
fading, everything else that you don't want the 3M film to be.
Right, and we don't want our reputation to be staked on somebody that made, a mistake because they didn't know how to do it.
Right, they don't clean it correctly. You get the things underneath it. Yeah.
Right. So I think having that program, and started in St. Paul, and then we expanded to kind of 5 locations. And now we actually have an installation training manager that actually kind of tries to get all the paint protection film plus the graphics plus the flat glass all under one kind of umbrella program.
Yep.
So we're working towards having all of that consistency, training from one site to another site, all the same vehicles, all the same, glass and all of that. So I think having that program, started and seeing so many benefits on the fleet side, now carrying that over into other spaces, we're seeing less complaints, we're seeing less frustration, and I think customers are ultimately quite a bit happier. And so the challenge now is just Now we have to look at recertification.
Absolutely.
And what does that look like? What's the standard time? Do we only recertify people when new products are available?
Right.
Do we try to do it every 3 years? Can we utilize, Microsoft Teams and other, online kind of training?
Right.
So
because I mean, if they're not certified when it's installed, how do you know what to warranty, what not to warranty, right?
Right.
Like if people buy something online and they try to do it themselves, you can tell good tint from bad tint. You can tell
Sure.
good installs from bad installs and how it's done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've talked the Fasaras, we've talked the Dinox, we've talked paint protection. Let's dig a little bit deeper and talk some of the new safety security films, because I know there are some new ones there.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, some new ones and exciting. I was actually
Changes.
some changes, some extra thickness, some
Yes.
and safety films are an area that we continue to get questions and opportunities.
Absolutely.
Routed to 3M.
Yep.
The biggest thing that I hope our customers understand, we're very cautious with where we put those films
And the wording that's used.
and the
when they
wording.
use it.
And we have lawyers at 3M and
Absolutely.
we have to follow certain guidelines. But we always have on the graphic side, we get a lot of people saying, I want the bulletproof film.
Yep. And we hear that as well.
Give me bulletproof
Yes.
film. And we would love to have a bulletproof film.
There's not one.
I'm not aware of one.
Nope, not one. Period.
So it's a little bit of education
Right.
when we hear those requests. And so our team is constantly innovating on the safety and security side,
Yep.
extra thickness, extra, tough films.
Correct.
And I've seen so many demos. You guys do great demos
Yep.
here with baseball bats and what we call them is barrier to entry films.
Correct.
And so it's a great barrier to entry, and it saves time and it can save lives. We need to be very cautious
And
with
it's
what we
not a film.
overpromise.
Right.
Right. And then
Yes.
it's a system.
It's just access protection, and it's going to slow down the process.
Right,
Yep.
right. And it's not just a film, right?
Right.
There's a caulking system,
Yep.
there's a window sealant system.
Bomb blasts and
yeah.
everything else. Yep.
Right. So I think with that, there are a number of solutions, and we really try to say, if you're interested in that, go to a trusted partner, one of our partners that specializes in that.
Yep.
Don't try to become that. Go to them first. Let them, we have kind of a closed network with
Yep.
that type of product.
But
And
as
Sun
far as bullet
controls it.
resistant, there's not a bullet resistant film, and
right.
that's the legality of it, right?
Right. Right.
Yes.
But some new products, the
Yes.
2400, coming
What is
out
the
with
2400?
So it's an extra thick safety film that, just like what we've had the predecessors, a barrier to entry film, but this one's even tougher, even
Yes.
thicker and new and exciting for us.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are used to the Ultra 800. So the Ultra 800 is something that's going to, the basic safety security film slows down the process. It's a tempering of a glass.
Right.
So when someone says, hey, I have a window that's not tempered, we can put that on there. It will allow inspectors to go in and say, hey, it'll pass inspection for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ultra 2400, that is a lot thicker, obviously. Yes.
Right.
It's funny when I go in and do presentations and I say, okay, here's the 2400. Let's try to see if you can rip or tear this. And
Oh man.
through that whole presentation, we have big contractors out there with everything
Tough
they've
guys.
got trying to get through it. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. I think I saw some of that on the graphic side when we launched our Envision wrap.
Yes.
So it was a higher tensile strength wrap film.
Yep.
And we would do demos where we would try to get people to break it. And,
Yeah.
and the standard graphic films, 2mm cast vinyls,
Yes.
you can tear, you can rip.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they'd get to an Envision wrap film and you'd see their faces turn red. You'd see the elbows come
Yeah.
up and
Kinda
you'd
like
want to
the VHB
create
tape that you guys have, right?
Right. You'd have to create a little extra space around yourself
Yeah.
because you don't want an elbow in the face.
I mean, they even have like their little knives out there trying to cut through it and like ripping it and tearing. I'm like, okay, we're gonna yep, you have your own table and just try
Right.
it while I'm here.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But I see that kind of happen with 3M. And that's kind of the exciting part of being at 3M is we'll take technology, and trends in one space and
Yes.
expand it to a different space.
Yep.
So, some of the advantages of VHB tape and sticking to low surface energy plastics.
Yes.
And taking some of that chemistry and putting it into vinyl films
Yep.
that need to stick to powder coated paints
Right.
and plastics and outgassing surfaces and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to, to have history in the lab.
Absolutely.
Have those connections, have that space where we can look for opportunities and challenges
Right.
from our customers and say, hey, I actually know of a technology. Now it'll take us a little bit of time to make, the connections.
Right.
But we can do something custom for the right kind of volume.
Right.
So
Well, and I think it's exciting as Sun Control and everybody else that's out there to see all the changes and all the different products that are out there that are coming and going, and then to see them actually put in full fruition. So, seeing them tested, seeing them out there, and then being put into our hands and saying, hey, now you guys go out there and try to sell it. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out there and present it and see how people actually like it, what they think of it, and then getting their feedback once they try it out.
Yeah.
Because, that's one of my jobs is to go out there and present it to people and then be like, okay, let's put it on a project now. Let's try to print on it. And, let's install it and see what the guys think once they're actually doing it too.
Right. And it's so important to have that feedback, all through the process.
Yeah.
And so, we try to get I'll kind of reference our latest digital print film, IJ280.
Yep.
We did a global field test. We got 78 different locations. We had a bunch of different installers, a combination of blind testing, so they didn't know what product it was. We would compare against ourselves, against some of our competition, and try to remove the liner information from people so that they had no idea what they were installing.
Right.
And then really get that valuable voice of customer and voice of the installer to say, I liked this, I didn't like that.
Right.
And so we did that with IJ280 and really found major advantages, kind of that Goldilocks of our adhesion level of that initial tack.
Yeah.
So it's not too sticky. It's sticky enough.
It's the right perfect.
Yeah, really kind of honed in. And so we took all of those locations, all of that feedback, and really kind of created a product that we feel meets the market need.
Right.
So we're very excited about that. That's been a product that I think has really kind of stayed in a lane for a little bit as it was first launched.
Yep.
It was in almost transit vehicles only.
Absolutely.
And we say it's 20% faster to install even than our IJ180.
IJ180.
So it's the IJ180 being a very common product that everyone knows and has history with on some level.
Yep.
And they say, well, I know that one and that seems to work pretty well for me, but if this one's even better or even 20% faster
Let's
than
try it
that,
and see what we think.
let's try it out.
Absolutely.
So we're very excited about that one. And there's a little bit of a push going on right now. We're very, very soon coming with that. So
which is exciting. I know in your world and everybody else's world, there's always supply and demand issues, but at the same time, to see the later and greater, and if it's even better, let's get it in. Yeah. Especially when we get into, the window film, all the ebbs and flows that go with it. But when we get it, when we start talking window tint, the Prestige series, Night Vision series, that stuff's just rocking. You can't help but not like Prestige. People think window tint, they always think dark.
Yeah.
Let's talk Prestige now.
Yeah. Well, and just like you said, right? I think we're so used to people thinking that dark equals, protection and it equals, heat reduction and all that.
Yeah.
And so if we have a chance to separate those two things, I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
And that's probably your challenge all day, every day.
Absolutely.
To say, hey, there are films that darker does create a little privacy, does create some benefits, but it is a separate entity than heat rejection, than all of that benefit.
Yep.
So, our Prestige series and just like our automotive window tints, the crystalline series, they have very similar technology. We talked about that technology sharing, but similar technology where it's a complete heat rejection and nano layers, 100, I forget how many layers of, so many microscopic layers in each of those films to really kind of become a barrier for that infrared heat and all the extra heat coming in. So it's a comfort level thing, sponsored by the American Cancer Society to have some statements we can say about that. So many advantages with our top of the line heat rejection window tint films. And then, like our other film series, we'll try to have other films that meet the needs of our customers.
Correct.
Whether it's color stable, whether it's, ceramic IR, some other films that kind of go down the pyramid, offering certain benefits, but not all the benefits of the premium where it's a ton of heat rejection.
Right. Well, because, a lot of times when you walk into somebody's house and they're like, oh, I bought the house for the view, but I don't want to stop that view. It's like, okay, well, I've got a perfect product for you. You can have the view still and have the 99% heat rejection or the 99% UVA, UVB rejection that you need. It's one of those, like, you can have the film, we can put up a sample for you. We can, just show you the difference when you have the Prestige 70 up and still see the difference on your floors.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's, hey, my floor is fading. What can I do? Or there's a glare here. Let's talk a little bit about daytime privacy, because everybody says, hey, I want that privacy film.
Yeah.
People don't understand there's not a nighttime privacy film.
And that's one that we get often.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
I have a storefront. I don't want people to see in. And like you mentioned, I mean, there's so many things that we can do with, kind of mirror finishes.
Yes.
But unfortunately, that only works as long as the light on the outside is brighter than the light on the
Absolutely.
inside.
They see it on TV, but in those dark rooms, it's always
Yeah.
darker on the inside than it is darker
Right.
on the outside than it is on the inside. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So continued challenges, but I think, there are films that work
Yeah.
to create privacy. You
Yes.
guys do a great job with that.
Yep.
We do that not only with, some of the privacy films, but also with perforated window graphics and
Absolutely.
creating a look out but can't see in
Yep.
kind of environment.
And
So,
printing on those, I mean, the sky's the limit on what people want. It's amazing how many times people want different looks, can achieve different looks, getting their branding on those, which is a lot of fun.
yeah.
And then let's dig into the night vision. Everybody loves the night vision.
Yeah.
15, 25, and 35. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's, we've had some challenges
Yeah.
with night vision.
But
And
it's rolling back out.
It's rolling back
exciting,
out,
yes.
and we're excited to kind of have that supply back out there.
Yep.
Night vision being a fantastic mover for us. You
Yep.
guys are a great customer
Yes.
with especially with night vision. It's one of those products that I think has been a staple of our portfolio.
Absolutely.
And so, looking at that, and again, we have specialists that really kind of get into window films
Right.
a little bit more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm very excited to have the supply back where it needs to be,
Right.
to have the material rolling to our customers
Yep.
and having that product be exactly when they want it, as they
Yes.
need it. And, a lot of opportunity with that right
Which
now.
is exciting. I mean, there's so many different window tint products that we could talk about from 3M. But now that we've touched there, let's look at some of the walls behind us. Let's go into the graphic world. Obviously, we've got wall graphics behind
Yeah.
us. We've got it all there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different options and availabilities that we could go on. And graphics are kind of your world.
I was going to say, that's my sweet spot.
Let's talk
Yeah.
a little bit about the graphic world, shall we?
Well, and I'd love to tell the story of how I got introduced to Sun Control and
Yeah.
really Elite.
Absolutely.
So Elite Tinting and Graphics in Duluth.
Yes.
I was our application engineer for reflective graphics.
Yep.
And field testing new adhesives on some of our reflective 680s and 680 CR. And I got connected with Phil Birdseye.
Phil is amazing.
And
he's
Phil's
the
great.
rock star of all installers.
He is. And so we were looking for, higher volume users to field test a new adhesive.
Yep.
And I got connected with Phil, and he gave me a list detailed as can be.
He's the most detail oriented. Like, you need something, I'm gonna tell you about it, but then here's my list.
It was amazing.
Yes.
And so I was like, I got to keep in touch with this
Yes.
guy. So he tried the product. He liked certain things. He wanted to modify it a little bit.
Yep.
He wanted more to
tweak it.
test.
Yep.
And it was like the right kind of feedback. It was detailed, but it was positive, and it was challenging all at once.
Absolutely.
And I loved it. And so I was like, well, I've got to get more connected with this guy.
Right.
And every now and again, whenever I get up to Duluth, I have, a couple of customers up there
Yes.
on the OEM side, like
Yeah.
Cirrus Aircraft.
Yeah.
And I would stop in and I'd be like, hey, Phil, I don't call on you as the 3M rep right now.
Right.
But I want to stop in.
Yep.
And he was all eyes and ears, and he would welcome me, and he did a great job.
Yep.
So I appreciate that introduction
Yes.
to Elite and to Sun Control that way.
Perfect.
And again, my old role as a sales rep, I was focused on, some of our OEM customers
Yep.
and certain other customers. And so I wouldn't have complete ownership of Sun Control
Right.
as a rep.
Yep.
But I was exposed to you guys and knew you guys did almost everything.
Right.
And so it's exciting for us to see the walls decorated, the vehicles in the
Yeah.
bays, the tint, the PPF, and really kind of knowing you guys as a do-it-all service provider.
Right.
Architectural, clear films, printed films. And so the graphic films are again, a little closer to my
Yeah.
background and what I grew up in. And really we have a good, better, best strategy with graphic films.
Absolutely.
Have products that meet that lower price point, have products that, perform at an intermediate price point, and
Yes.
premium products where we are probably more well known.
Well, and that's what people don't understand when they say, I don't know if I can where I want to be. I said, you know what? We have products and we have price points that'll meet where you need to be. So let's see what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then let's expand from there. Even with vehicles,
Right.
let's see where you need to be, whether it's just spot graphics.
Right.
We can do partial wraps, we can do full wraps, or we can, get into the reflective. We can go,
Right.
anywhere you want to be.
Yeah.
There's over laminates, there's so many different options and so many different textures and everything that you can get into.
Right. And it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right.
it
For a
can.
customer.
And we
So-
don't want to go all into that,
Right.
but we can be there.
Right.
Yes.
And I think our job as salespeople
simple.
is to keep it simple and eliminate the noise and ask those questions. And so as our sales trainer, that was a lot of what we focused on, is saying, what is the customer's driving factor?
Yes.
How can you separate that from the noise and just make it easy for them to make a quick decision?
Right.
And so, when we go to trade shows at, whether it's SEMA, ISA, SGIA, the old SGIA, Print United. And so, just meeting with customers and trying to understand what their questions are,
Right.
and not overwhelming them with too many choices, but just saying, help me understand your project. Help me
you? What do you want? What's your why? Kind of those things too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, take that, simplify it for the customer and say, my opinion is this is the best product for your solution.
Yes.
Or what I try to say is the lowest price product that meets your needs.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
We try not to be in that, hey, this is the cheap product.
Yeah,
We don't,
no, we have like an ABC and an option.
Right.
Like we'll hand you to our designer. We have in-house designers. She'll give you an A, B, a C. You can make a couple tweaks from there. Then let's move forward. Here's our process. You know, it's
well, and
easy.
I love your graphic out front where it's like a vehicle and it starts with some spot graphics. And then next is some partial wrap and then full wrap and then full wrap with reflective accents. And, you can really go crazy. And for the right customer, they want that.
They want that. They want to see what their full options are. Yes. And same with paint production. I mean, there's all different options for every customer and every price point.
Yeah.
You kind of want to show, the good, better, and best. Same with the window tint. When you're up there, you can feel the good, better, and best. Because it's not the color. It's not the darkness. It's the heat protection, just like everything else.
Right. Well, in the graphics world for us, I think so many customers, depending on where they're at, the size of the shop, how many printers they run, they might look at this wall graphic and say, I just want one roll that can do this, plus a car, plus my floors, plus everything.
Yeah, right.
And we have that, right?
Absolutely.
We have IJ180 that has been that product.
And floors are different. There could be texture. There's
Right.
scuff resistant, just different things too. Yes.
Right. So if you get to a shop that maybe wants to specialize a little bit more, then we start talking about, okay, for floors only, maybe you want to look at a sidewalk film. Maybe you want to look at 40C as a floor graphic.
Brick material, everything. Yeah, there's all different options.
So a number of things that we can kind of do in the graphics world that say, hey, like if you just want a general film, we have that. If you want to specialize a little bit more, we can be a resource.
We can make it all happen.
Yeah. And 3M, we've got 40 sales reps kind of throughout the US, most of them graphic focused.
Yep.
On the personal auto side, about 4 that are really kind of regionally. Yeah. So graphics are really kind of where we made our name.
Absolutely.
And where we have a lot of resources. I think we're trying to get a little bit more support on the personal auto side as well.
Personal auto side too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think's next in your world and in the whole film world?
Yeah, I mean, for us, I think if we looked back, 5 years ago, it was, I need it faster. I need to, wrap faster. I need it to protect longer. Right. And now those products have really kind of come about, with IJ280, with the protection wrap films. I see, rumors of direct printing onto walls and things like that. And we've seen some of those printers, high investment in that.
Whole AI world and all that good stuff.
And so I think it's exciting to see, what's going on, but I still think there's space for vinyl printed graphics. We've got, like our Envision wrap film has a lot of sustainability benefits with the composition, Green Guard certification, LEED credits, a lot of that sustainability push. And I think that's more within scope now than it was 5-10 years ago. People wanted it, but didn't want to have a trade-off.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're almost there. Basically we've got our Envision wrap films that really don't offer many trade-offs. And then we have a new product that I think was launched last week called PL50. Okay. It is a bio-based material.
Nice.
So it's made actually of corn.
Oh, very cool.
And it has a changeable adhesive. So it's easy on, easy off.
Which kind of funny that you bring that up, because a lot of times when we go into architects, they're starting to ask about more green materials and more materials that are made naturally and holistic and things like that too. So yes,
I think this has our strongest sustainability story. Everyone wants something that, when you're done with it, it dissolves immediately.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants something that's made out of something.
And what are the adhesives made of? And what is the material made out of?
Right.
And,
it still has to perform.
Absolutely.
And so,
last.
and so I think we've really kind of compromised on that to say, The adhesive is going to be easy to work with.
Yes.
The film is going to, be corn-based, and we've got some claims around what that means. And it also has indoor air quality certifications with Green Guard, so there's not a lot of VOCs coming out and smell.
And the curing process and all of that too,
And so I think what people are really looking for is a narrative to tell when they go into a hospital or into a school and say, this is better than that because of these 5 things.
Absolutely.
And so we've tried to make that simple again for our customers to say, hey, this is going to be a better choice. And this, here are the advantages of this.
Yeah.
And I think it has a stronger story than anything else we've ever had.
Absolutely.
So that's what I see as kind of like the future of, hey, where were we going? Where were we? And where are we going in the future?
Yes.
And now it's like, the sustainability without major trade-offs.
Yes.
So
personally wise, you're at 3M.
Yeah.
You've been rocking it there. Family wise, what's new in your family life?
Well, that's the important stuff.
Yes,
right?
The why and the driving purpose.
Yeah, and again, we kind of talk, faith, family, film,
Absolutely,
that kind of stuff.
Right? Yep.
So it's fun to have that. I've got my wife Christine. She's from the Twin Cities.
Yes.
I met her in college in Duluth, and we went to UMD.
Yep.
And then I chased her down here. This is home for her. This is I'm from North Dakota.
Right.
So this is kind of her place, and here we are 19 years later.
Yeah, right.
So I did one thing smart. My anniversary at 3M is the same year as my anniversary with my wife.
Hey, that works.
So 19 years, keep it simple.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely.
And so, So
next year's a big year.
Next year's a big year.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yes.
and probably high expectations.
Yes.
So
are you going back to North Dakota or
Well, and as we turned 40 a couple years ago,
Yeah.
we took a trip with friends back to the Bahamas where we got married.
Very cool.
And so we kind of knocked out maybe one of those things. Maybe we'll just have to do something
Maybe it's
similar,
a new
just
bucket
us.
list item. Yep.
Maybe.
Something simple.
Yeah.
Christine's pay attention.
Yeah.
She's going to be planning now.
Yeah, she's like, you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
On that podcast, I remember.
Yeah. But then we've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
My daughter Ava's 12. My
Yep.
son Cameron's 10.
Yep.
And they're keeping us busy.
Absolutely.
Christine played college soccer at Louisville, so
Yep.
that both kids are very into soccer. I played basketball. Christine played basketball in high school.
I like that you said Louisville. I met with somebody yesterday. It's funny when people say Louisville.
And that's how I knew
they're
it.
not from there. Like
Yeah.
Right. My dad played baseball for Cincinnati, and he was always Louisville for him too. And when you talk to people that are not from there, it's Louisville, and I'm like, nope, it's Louisville. Like, trust me. It's,
you're wrong.
You're
And
wrong.
I was wrong.
I got it. Yep.
Yeah. No, she taught me that. But
Yep.
I mean, the kids are busy.
Yeah.
It's soccer, it's basketball, and both sports are almost year round now.
100%. It's a calendar in itself on top
And
of
you
work
get
and on
it.
top of life. And yeah.
So the challenges are kind of set forth of, hey, our family's awesome. We love it. We're based in Bloomington. And I'm, I kind of grew up in the shadow of 3M here for my last 19 years, but I still travel quite a bit, whether it's trade shows, whether it's within the region to go see our reps and see our customers. So there's a lot going on that I just need to balance that schedule as best I can.
And it's funny because there's the balance is interesting, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And for everyone, there's a different balance,
Right.
right? And for us, Christine's been working, part-time and now kind of going back a little bit more full-time.
Yep.
And trying to match the kids' schedules. So she was a teacher by trade and now kind of subbing and doing some other things. So, now it's kind of that time in life where we're kind of seeing a shift. The kids are old enough now so that we can kind of do a little bit more as adults, but yet we're still in that phase where they need to go to soccer practice.
Yep. You got to shuffle them around and chauffeur them around and do that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's fun. And that's, I kind of, try to share the passions, share the activity, and have some fun with them.
Right.
And that's just it, right? Like, I think that's my, anything
why
we
and your
do.
driving force.
Right. I want to have some fun. I want to, get to meet people. I'm a little bit more of an extrovert. So, having that background in the lab and being able to make those connections are kind of what excites me.
Absolutely.
And whether it's connections with new families at soccer or basketball or connections with new customers and solving their questions and problems, that's fun for me. I love that.
Who have been, I know you've talked about Joe being some of your mentors. Who have been some of your other main mentors when you've been through that process and grown up?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I actually had a lunch this week with 2 other mentors, both within 3M. The first one, Greg Bro, and Greg was a name that his dad, Jack Bro, was in the commercial graphics for years in marketing. Okay. So when you think about like the 70s, late 60s, 70s, 80s,
Yep.
Greg's dad was there. And then Greg grew up in the division. So we have like, I knew, Greg, and I've known Jack.
Yeah.
And so having like a mentor plus a mentor to the mentor.
Right.
And it's been
That's
amazing
the whole
to have.
decades of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's almost like that coaching tree, that John Wooden coaching tree where you kind of like keep going.
Yep.
But having, mentors like that, Greg kind of brought me in from the lab and what I would say the, product responsibility regulatory group I started in into the more customer facing.
Yes.
And Greg challenged me to get out of my comfort zone, which I very much appreciate and still do. Greg, he'll call and be like, what are you doing? What's going on?
How are you pushing yourself? What do you see next? Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg has been a fantastic resource. And I had lunch with him and the other mentor earlier this week. So Alan Miller is another one. And Alan, I hope people in the industry know that name because he's been a fantastic resource for 3M and for us.
Yeah.
Alan's the kind of guy that I worked under him and I worked under Greg for years. And Alan's the guy that if you for some reason can't do it, Alan will do it.
Yep.
Alan is the guy.
Get it done person.
He's the get it done guy. He's the no excuses. He's the whatever it takes kind of guy. Yep. And I appreciate so much of him, the attitude on Alan. It's not about Alan. It's about the team. Yes. It's not it's we. And so I've loved that about Alan. I've tried to mimic as much as I can from Alan. But Alan, he grew up in a product engineer role in the division.
Amazing.
And then came to application engineering. Now he's our application engineering manager. And for us, that means troubleshooting customer issues, being that connection between the plant, the quality team, and our team.
Yep.
And when there's no one else that knows, Alan knows.
Alan's going to be the go-to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I try to mimic those guys as much as I can because of all the combination. Joe from the sales perspective and the
There's a lot
taking
of
care of people. Yeah. And then Alan and Greg from the, hey, how are you doing? How are you being held accountable? And then how are you treating your team? So I've got a wealth of mentors.
Yes.
And I am very, very fortunate to have so many good people, whether it's my team now that push me and I learn from them. In my management team that have had some changes. You kind of mentioned some of the changes.
Which is good. I mean, change is always good.
It's great.
The world's changing,
Right. And so we have to keep up with that. And that's the challenge at 3M is we're a big ship and it's hard to change quickly. Right. But the world changes very quick.
Sure does.
So we need to react. And that's our sales team's challenge to say, hey, the customers need this. And I know it's going to take that to do it. How do we escalate? How do we pivot faster?
Well, I think, as a dealer and as everybody sees, obviously 3M changes, the world changes, but at the same time, everything else is changing around us, right?
Right.
And just like everything else, I know I change every day as far as what I'm doing, what I'm striving for, and who we're trying to reach out to and what we're trying next.
Yeah.
I think that's important to have that change, and especially with 3M and everything else. You've got to have that change internally to try to reach that next level too.
Yeah. Well, and I think our leadership being newer are looking to people that have been in the division 19 years and people like me.
But still the younger generation to try to push that barrier
too. And they're looking for feedback to say, what do our customers need? Yeah. We see metrics and we see, all of these things to make us profitable and to continue our business. But what else can we do to satisfy our customers?
Right.
So it's a nice challenge, and I feel entitled to bring the challenges from our customers to problem solvers, and to be a part of that problem solving. So, like you said, it's there's so many challenges, but those are opportunities, right? And I think our customers look to us to say, you need to be my voice. So we need to understand their problem. We need to articulate it clearly, and we need to bring data. Right. And that's how we really resolve, some of those challenges.
What are some things on the dealer side that you want to see more from us to do, or more for us to reach out to, or what are some things that we're doing right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so much of what you guys helps us. It's the feedback loop. It's the initial thoughts. It's, when I think you did some modifications to our dealer program, our network, and we opened some things up. And, part of that I think was, people were frustrated by certain rumors of changes. And then we got in and I think as the details came out, people were like, oh, it's not what I thought. It's not what I was frustrated by. So I think it's the clarity. It's the two-way conversations.
Yep.
And I think you guys do a great job of sharing the feedback and then having a dialogue.
Right.
And so I think that's what we need to continue to have. Yep. And, you know, our goal is to grow.
Right.
Right. Just like your goal, just like everyone's goal in business.
Yep.
We need to continue to grow. I'll be honest. I think our portfolio limited us on growth.
Yep.
For a number of years.
Correct.
Having new products are going to enable some of that growth.
Yep.
Having better incentives for dealers and to have that. So, you know, what we're looking for is, do we see the growth based on the new incentives that we have for dealers, the new assets and all that kind of stuff? Are we seeing the growth, or what are the challenges if we're not?
Right.
Is it
Absolutely.
economy? Is it, you know,
supply and demand? Is it, you know, do we have the products on hand? I mean, that's, all of it.
So I think having that open dialogue, having the consistent feedback, and a lot of that's on us to drive that feedback, to ask those questions, to make sure that we're aligned. So I think that's what I hope for.
Right.
And again, you know, I'm a little bit more graphics focused, but in the role that I'm in, I get to have those conversations, and I'm going to be exposed to that.
Yep.
And so that's what I see. And we've got a lot of people that want to visit 3M headquarters right in your backyard, and want to, you know, come to see a customer and get that feedback.
Absolutely.
And so you guys have been fantastic to host, to say, hey, we're an open book.
Come on in.
Absolutely. Let's talk about what works. Let's talk about what challenges we have, and the honesty and the constructive criticism.
Yep.
Some people might be scared to hear that. I am not.
No.
I think that is the best way to get, you know, really
we have
valid
to
feedback.
put it on the line, because that's where we're at today. You know, it might not be where we're at tomorrow, but as of today, that's what it is, right? Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting to see. I mean, I know we have a lot of great things that have happened with RAM, and we have so many exciting things coming up in the future. I know I do, especially in the next couple of months. I know we were just talking about some of those things, and I am excited for the future. I know all the lunch and learns, all the presentations, all the podcasts coming up, but there are so many things that we haven't even started to evolve around.
Yeah.
And I know the sky's the limit as far as where we're going together and what I'm willing to try. I just don't know what exactly all that is yet.
Sure. Yeah. That's the exciting part.
It's all evolving, you know, all the different opportunities that are out there. And if anybody has any suggestions on what we should try next, throw it out there. Let's try it. Let's go, you know?
Yeah. I think we're all ears.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of our focus has been doing vehicle color change classes and 1-day trainings, you know, through our distributors.
Yes.
With the personal auto products opening up just a little bit more to new distributors. Yeah. I think they're hosting some training, but I think if people are looking for additional contact with 3M, don't hesitate, you know, reach out. We try to follow, you know, our 3M Films channel on social media has been way more active the last year and a half. We made investment in a guy named Patrick Brown.
Yes.
And I tell you, the guy's amazing.
Yeah.
He's doing great things. He's filming video. You probably see me and a few others at trade shows talking about products, having some fun. And, you know, it's people that kind of reach out of the woodwork to say, oh, you're YouTube famous now.
Oh, by the way,
I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's funny because when we start talking social media, I think I'm on social media. Let's go there. I mean, I'm there.
It's okay.
Well, and people start to say, hey, you know, you're doing a lot. I'm like, yeah, but to be honest with you, like, whether or not you see me, you're noticing me.
100%.
Whether you like it or you don't, you're still seeing me. Yeah. So you're noticing me. Whether it's good or bad, it's there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm trying new things.
Right.
You have to be that person. You have to try new things, whether it's good, it's bad. Podcasts, social media is there right now. It might not be there in the future. Lunch and learns work. There's so many different things that you have to be willing to try because what works today might not work tomorrow. You know, AI is going to be there in the future. That might take over a lot of different things, which it already is.
Right. Leads.
You have to be willing to take it all in and do it, because if you don't take it for what it is today, who knows what will be there in the future, right?
Right. No, and I think if I look at 3M as a whole, that was not our strong suit.
Right.
Pivoting quickly, doing social media, staying on trend.
Right.
You do a very good job. That's not our focus.
Right.
No,
I know, but
it's tough. And it's one of those things
and
that
it takes time.
It does.
The editing,
and so
everything. Yeah.
To invest in someone to really kind of be an expert in that for 3M, that was a change for us.
Right.
And I think they've done a great job, Pat and his team.
They have. They've really taken a big step for it.
Yeah. And so I think that's the challenge, is to continue to leverage those new and exciting things like what you're doing with architectural and lunch and learns. And so our team is trying to get out there. We're trying to be a little bit more customer, focused and get out.
The expos, the trade shows. I mean, trying to find the graphics customers, trying to find all the different customers, right? Just being omnipresent, really.
Yeah. But it's fun.
It is. It's
and it has to be genuine. And that's what I think.
And every day is something different.
Right. Yeah. So put yourself out there and with a genuine attitude,
be passionate,
a willingness
about
to learn.
Right?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we've talked family, we've talked work.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing outside of work to do?
Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah. And kind of gets back to my days in Duluth, but last week my son and I did the Lake Superior Circle Tour.
Very cool.
So we drove all the way around Lake Superior.
Yep.
It was a long week with my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
But it's camping, it's getting outdoors, it's having some fun, getting that vitamin D. I love to golf and I think we share a little passion there. I'm not wait, what?
Wait, what? No.
I'm not a good golfer.
Yeah.
So I think the passion
is being outside, right?
It's being outside. It's connecting with new people and having that fun. So that's the kind of fun stuff, and I think, to my wife, she was like, wait, you're going to drive, 4.5 hours every day and stop and, camp or hotel.
Let's do it.
And I was like, yes, that sounds incredible to me. Adventure.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Does your son like to do that kind of stuff? Obviously, he's getting more into it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fishing and all of that out stuff. Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough thing because, it's soccer and basketball and sports. But like whenever we have a down minute,
let's go do something.
Let's go do something.
Random road trip. Let's go. Hit the road and go. Yes.
Yeah. And some of that might be me,
I've
influencing.
instilled that in my kids. So like 150%. I know not long ago, I took my kids on a random road trip to Colorado. I'm like,
oh, wow.
2 16-year-old boys and myself. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it. Like, let's go. We're going to just go somewhere random and let's do it. Yeah.
Right. But it's that bonding time, right?
Absolutely.
It's the time in the car when maybe they're away from a device and you can actually try something new.
Put down the phone. We're just going to go.
Create memories.
You want to see some moose? We might not see moose, but we're going to see some elk. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're never going to get that time back.
Right.
And it's making memories. Like, we're going to go somewhere. I don't know where, but let's just go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're going to go somewhere, I'm going to probably bring my golf clubs.
Sure. Why
More
not?
than likely. Why not? Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, it's funny because we talk golf, we talk work, and they always usually tend to collaborate together for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times work and golf, you get a lot done on the golf course too.
I 100% agree. I think when you find a passion that maybe your customers share, or at least are kind of, starting to share, whether it's golf, whether it's, sports or anything like that, you're going to find a way to talk about work.
Absolutely. Well, I talk about work wherever I go. My work is like my life. No matter what I do, I'm like, hey, did you know that we do window? Hey, did you know I'm like, oh, okay, I've got to stop the whole work thing, but that's what I do.
I'm there, and I nerd out about it.
Yeah,
I still think it's a cool business.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me because I've been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
But it's still a fun business. It's still a growing business, and I still like it.
Yeah.
So if you still like it, why not talk about it?
There's someone that's outside with a lettered up truck outside. I'll be like, hey, did you know that sun control? And here's my little elevator speech. I'm like, okay, I'm outside work.
Yeah.
I'm outside with my neighbors and I'm giving them an elevator speech. I'm like, I've got to stop. Like, can't just have a normal conversation with the neighbors. We're good.
I know.
But it's fun. That's what you do.
Right.
What's your favorite quote?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if I have a favorite quote. There was one that I had kept on my phone for years, and it was something by, I think it was by Abraham Lincoln. And it was a passionate quote about like something that he was doing, during the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah. And I forget the wording, but it stuck with me. It was one of those things that kind of like like, oh my goodness, like remember this kind of thing every day.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'll have to think about that as I leave, you know, like just to like,
just send it to me later. You'll be like, okay, here's his favorite quote. Oh, okay. Now I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll come back to you when you're driving and be like, okay, now I remember.
Yeah. Like word for
Most
word.
random time, like be in your car and be like, okay, now I know. Why didn't I remember that then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Any trips planned in the future?
Work trips so far. I think I'm booked out the next like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was such a fun week last week to kind of have a fun trip.
Yeah.
My son's soccer team will be going to North Carolina in October.
Nice.
So that will be, we'll make a little family vacation out of that.
Absolutely.
My wife is a big Duke basketball fan.
Yep.
So
The Blue
we'll
Devils,
go,
yep.
so we'll go to, I think, we'll go about an hour away and we'll maybe take a little tour of the college campus just for fun.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I know the last couple days I've been planning all my work stuff, and I think I'm out till October right now.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
insane.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
in November I was in 23 states in a month, and I'm getting probably there again. It's exciting. Like I love it. Everybody's like, do you slow down? I'm like, what's slowing down? Like, why?
Yeah.
You got to keep that flow going.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Like there's so many exciting things coming, and I can't wait to share with everybody what's coming and all the exciting things that we have collaborating with 3M and everything else.
I love it.
Let's roll. Ready?
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Well, we're super
along.
excited to have you on and can't wait to let everybody see what's coming up in the future. And we had something that we received, 2 weeks ago, a 2024 marketing award that we were super excited to have.
Yeah, I don't want to just blow past that. You guys, I feel like you've won a lot of awards.
We have.
So congratulations. You guys are rock stars, right?
Yeah, we've had National Dealer, Midwest Dealers, marketing awards. Very exciting.
Yeah, well, congratulations. And thanks again for your business. Thanks for doing what you do for 3M. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and we appreciate having you on and can't wait to see where you're going in the future and everybody else with 3M. And I'll have to stop by your stomping ground soon.
Please do.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you again.
Thank you.